So obviously I've made some changes since part 2. Most notably I removed the eye for an eye Malagos meme combo. So if you feel like you got clickbaited by the thumbnail with a Malagos in it, sorry to disappoint, but you can go back and watch parts 1 and 2, those have a Malagos in it. And we're playing Netherspite Historian now, so maybe there's still going to be a Malagos, who knows. But anyway, that combo is just too unreliable, too weak, too hard to actually set up. So I wanted to try a more realistic version of the deck. The eye for an eye basically got cut directly for Repentance because I wanted to maintain the secret count. Malagos got cut for Chillmaw. Honestly, there probably should have been a Chillmaw in the deck in the first place, it just fits in the curve so nicely between the Challenger and the Tyrion. Other than those two changes, I removed the Pyros and the Doomsayers for Argent Squires and Netherspite Historians. Just gives a little bit more onboard presence in the early turns. I'm playing a Blessing of Kings and 2 Keeper Voldemon. And now that I have buffs, I cut the Blackwing Technicians for Nightbane Templars because the 1/1s get a lot better. And the Forbidden Healing is gone. I think the Forbidden Healing was kind of replaced by the Bookworm. So now I do have 1 extra dragon in the deck. I was definitely lacking dragons in the previous iteration of the deck. And now that it has Netherspite Historian, if I have another Netherspite Historian and a Twilight Guardian in hand, I don't have to like awkwardly hold the Twilight Guardian. I can get a new dragon off the Historian and actually play my other dragons. And somewhere in that mix, I did have to remove a True Silver Champion. Feels kind of bad because the card is really strong, but I have a lot of 4-cost cards in the deck right now. And there are a lot of people playing Ooze and Harrison Jones right now, so I don't think I feel too bad taking out a True Silver Champion, but let's see if I regret it, I guess. So overall, the curve went down a bit. I removed the healing, got in some 1-drops. The deck became more aggressively slanted, as opposed to the Malagos version that went all the way up to 9. So I think this will be an interesting version of the deck to try out.
I will fight with honor.
I think I'll just take the Azure Drake here. That means that I can play one of my 3s on 3, and then I can go coin 5 into 5. And I'm not going to have time to play those huge dragons this game anyway. That's kinda good, I guess. Go ahead and drop this guy. I have a lot of dudes on board, but probably doesn't matter too much against Rogue. Definitely don't want to coin out the Noble Sack here, because all it gets is his dagger, and I want to coin out a 5 next turn. Interesting Shiv target. Wonder if I'm getting prep fanned. Looks like a prep fan. That's not really that bad for me though. He used a lot of cards doing that. So I could just play the True Silver out here, but I think it's better to get a dragon on the board. If I play a Consort here, that would mean my Bookworm would cost 4 next turn, but it's not likely to find a target against Rogue. My Azure Drake would cost 3, but there's nothing else that I can really do with my mana next turn with the Azure Drake. I guess it would let me make a dude. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Azure Drake first. I feel like if I Consort first, there's some potential that I almost like waste its battle cry, because I would have to play the Drake next turn anyway, and it just like lets me sneak into hero power or something. So this turn I think I am going to play the Consort over the Azure Drake. I have a Challenger to play next turn, and then following that, there's more room for me to get like a tempo play out of the battle cry from the Consort. Plus the Azure Drake just has less stats, and if I draw a card I might draw a secret, which makes my Challenger next turn even worse. especially since I already have one of my 4 secrets in my hand.
Thank you.
So the Challenger looked pretty good this turn, but now that he's got that Tomb Pillager on the board, I'm really leaning toward this Twilight Guardian True Silver Champion play. Lets me end the turn with 2 big dudes on my board, the True Silver equipped, and he has a dead Tomb Pillager. If I just play the Mysterious Challenger, none of the secrets I get are really that good. This guy gets to just trade into the Dragon Consort. Seems kind of bad. I mean, it's not bad. If I didn't have a better play, I wouldn't be upset to play the Mysterious Challenger here. But I think this play is just better. Relatively efficient answers from the opponent. I think there are only 2 lines of play here. Bookworm, kill the SI7 agent for free, and Mysterious Challenger, use the weapon to kill the SI7 agent. The Mysterious Challenger is a stronger minion than the Bookworm, but I have to give up my weapon, which is pretty good at killing like a Tomb Pillager, maybe a Gadgetzan Auctioneer, and it's pretty hard to find a good Bookworm target in this deck, so I think I'm going to use the Bookworm. I might have enough cards in my hand that it's not important to get use out of all of them, but if I don't use the Bookworm here, I feel like it's just going to sit in my hand for the rest of the game.
By the power of Ragnaros, I have the power! Get down!
So the Noble Sack only got his weapon there, but it kind of always only gets the weapon in this matchup, I think. I guess I could have tried to put it into a turn where it would be awkward for him, but it seems like he's just always going to have his weapon up. I think the Thaurissan does indicate that it's a Malygos rogue, but he's pretty low on cards. Let's say his hand is like Malygos, Double Sinister Strike. Those are going to be 8 damage apiece, that's 16, 17 with the dagger. I think I've only seen 1 Eviscerate.
Incredible.
So if he had an Eviscerate on top of that, it would be 24. I think if his hand is Malygos, Double Sinister Strike, Eviscerate, I just lose.
Move quickly.
And he's emoting, so that's probably what his hand is.
None may steal our secrets.
For justice. Or
So I go down to 20 here. If he has Malygos plus all those cards, I'm dead. If he only has Double Sinister Strike, I'm probably not dead. And then I can push a lot of damage myself. If he does nothing to my board, I actually have 1 over lethal with Azure Drake Consecration. Playing the Blessing of Kings there was pretty weak to sap. But I'd seen 1 sap already, a lot of lists only play 1 now. And I didn't really have a great use for my mana if I didn't play the Blessing of Kings. I guess maybe there was another way to clear without playing the Keeper of Uldamon, but I didn't really like any of those clears. I think I'm just going to go for lots of stats on the board. I think I'm even going to play the Eldar Peacekeeper here. He might make like a big Edwin, but I have a hard time believing that he can make a big Edwin and clear my board enough that I would need the Peacekeeper. Azure Drake got wrecked. Am I supposed to emote back now?
justice demands retribution. Uther versus Thrall. For Doomhammer, I will fight with honor.
So Shaman should be the real test. I think this card's cheap enough to keep. If I had Doomsayers in the deck still, I might mulligan this, just a hard mulligan for Doomsayer. But now that it's just another Spite Historian or an Argent Squire, I don't think mulliganing that aggressively is correct. Got a pretty nice curve. Unfortunately, I'm not playing Equality and Pyromancer anymore, So the Shaman matchup is probably a lot more difficult.
Reporting for duty.
At least I'll have a lot of options on turn 5.
The elements will destroy.
Well, if he didn't roll a spell damage totem, I would have been pretty happy to see a hero power there.
Face the airs of magic.
Why am I not just playing Blackwing Technician? Oh, that's bad.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
I'm a little surprised he used the spell damage totem instead of the Divine Shield. Well, I guess killing the Flame Tongue for free is pretty good, huh? I had some other 5-drops there, but like the Azure Drake just died for free to the Divine Shield. Consort didn't really seem like it accomplished all that much. Pretty nice spell damage totem you rolled there, Thrall. I guess I'm gonna play Azure Drake here. I probably really need to draw into my consecrations to win this game. And I guess I'll throw down the Noble Sack. If nothing else, it gets his Divine Shield, probably.
Get down!
I don't think I have a great play this turn. If I just go for the Challenger, the thing from below kills Azure Drake for free, because my Noble Sacrifice is already gone. Even if it wasn't, you could just send the 2-1 into it. I could go for Keeper of Voldemort on this, send Azure Drake in, and then I guess along with that I would play the Nether Spite Historian. Leaves me with a 4-1. He might get to send his 2-1 into it, but the Azure Drake kind of already did its job. I think Consort is kind of out of the question here. I could play Blessing of Kings and just run into this. I'm left with a 3 health minion. Probably just a little bit too easy for him to kill. Could also just go for a Corruptor, send Azure Drake in. I think I'm gonna go for... well, I guess I'm starting with this either way.
None may steal.
I think I'm just gonna go for this clear. This part's kind of bad for me, but having a 3-4 and a 1-3 on the board is kind of nice. And then I think in the future, Blackwing Corruptor can hit a pretty nice target. Looks like I don't have an answer to that Thunder Bluff Valiant. That's a pretty bad card to not have an answer for. Next turn, this guy's just gonna die for free. Or not for free, but it's just gonna die to one of these totems. Or basically free. Unfortunately, my hand is just too expensive for how much mana I have right now. I mean, I guess I'm definitely sending this guy in here. I could play Corruptor here just to try to keep his totems to a minimum. But then, like, this guy goes into the Corruptor. This guy goes in here, this guy has 3 health remaining, and then I have no way to kill it. If I just play Tyrion here, I probably lose the Hex.
Put your faith in the light.
I guess I lose the Hex, because every other play I have is terrible. Since I don't have equalities in the deck anymore, probably can't come back from this board state. Oh, he traded in the Thunder Bluff. That seems not correct. Oh, okay, the Healing Totem healed it up to 4 health, so it's not dead to Corruptor. Still seems a little bit risky. I could have a True Silver Champion to kill it. But I guess if I True Silvered into that, I'd be taking some damage and he would just wreck me with these totems. So I guess if I play the Corruptor, I kill the spell damage totem. He's showing 10, 14 damage. Pretty hard for me to recover from that. If I don't kill anything, he's showing, what, 14, 20 damage? So I can't just slam Malagos and pray for a consecration draw.
Must move quickly.
Challenger just actually doesn't do anything, so I guess there's no play that doesn't involve a Blackwing Corruptor. And I guess I just need to throw a Blessing of Kings on it. Hope it can actually start swinging into stuff. Doesn't seem like there's a way I can win, though.
That's incredible. A lot at stake here. Let the hunt begin. I will fight with honor.
Definitely don't want Consecration. Maybe I can keep the Eldor Peacekeeper. I'm not sure that I really want to play it on turn 2 or 3, though. Maybe I mulligan it and then just try to coin this guy out on 3. I think that seems a little bit more realistic. So I'm not playing the Forbidden Healing anymore. I have one true Silver Champion, that's my healing in this deck right now. So Hunter might be difficult. Nightbane Templar is much better against Explosive Trap. Or it's much worse against Explosive Trap, much better against Freezing Trap. Compared to the Blackwing Technician I was playing. Alright, this is the opener I like to see from a Hunter. I mean, yeah dude, that 2 damage is nice, but gotta put stuff on the board. I already have a pretty solid curve, so I think I'll just take the highest quality card here, which is Bookworm.
I fight.
Holy shit, that's a bad play. Like, I don't see his hand, so maybe that's like his best play, but in a vacuum, that is a bad play.
Heirs of magic.
Poor guy. I wonder if he's playing some, like, gimmicky Malagos Hunter or something, considering how terrible his draw has been. I wonder if there's a Reno Jackson in that deck. I could kill this guy if I really wanted to, but I think I'm just gonna slam down a taunt, punch this guy in the face. I have a lot of stuff on board for Unleash the Hounds. I haven't seen that 3-drop in a while. There has to be a good Consecration play here, right? I actually just have so many good plays this turn. I could even just go for like a coin Bookworm on this. Let's see, if I'm Consecrating, I probably send Divine Shield, 2/3, and 1/1 into these guys. Consecrate his whole board. I have 2 1/1s, a 2/1, and a 3/3. If I just drop the Bookworm, I can still do a little bit of cleanup. Probably just kill off these 2 guys, leave the Grandmother up. I think that leaves me with a much better board, actually. Let's go for the Bookworm play. This guy is not trading. I don't think the 2/3 is trading. One of these is for sure. He didn't have Unleash the Hounds. Let's just hope he still doesn't have it. If I had absolutely no read on Unleash the Hounds, I'd feel more obligated to make my board smaller. But it's been pretty good for a couple turns, so I think it's nice to just put stuff out. So he's at 17, I believe this is 10 on board. If I just go for the Blessing of Kings, that's 14. And then Hunter doesn't play heals, right? So I just Corruptor him in the face. He had such a slow start, it seems like his deck might be weird. And there's actually like a small amount of concern in my mind that he's playing Reno Hunter. But it's probably not correct to ever play assuming that they're playing Reno Hunter.
Protect the flight.
So I'm just gonna set him into lethal range of the Blackwing Corruptor. Well, if the Hunter has that bad of a draw, I think my deck is favored.